So today I'm going to introduce you to a rule that we did not use in D1. And that is this rule right here. If you divide, I can't write and talk at the same time. Divide or multiply I really can't spell them right at the same time, can I? Multiply by a negative number, you must flip or reverse your inequality sign. I'm going to put or multiply in parentheses also, because usually it's usually it's dividing. But this is such an important thing that I'm going to put a bubble around it. If your teacher gets out another color and puts a bubble around something, it's important. Highlight it, tattoo it on your arm. Do what you need to do so you remember it. Well, maybe not. That's kind of nerdy to tattoo. That would be kind of nerdy to tattoo a math rule on your arm, but whatever. Okay.
2 plus 2 equals.
Okay. So negative 8k is less than negative 64. We are going to solve this, and we are going to graph this. Okay? I didn't ask you if you liked graphing. We're going to do it, though.
Okay.
There's a lot of things in life you have to do, even if you don't like it. Taxes being a main one. All right. How do I get k by itself? Divide by negative 8. This falls into my rule, doesn't it? I am dividing by a negative number. So this problem was less than. I'm going to fix it, or I'm going to finish it. K, and then that gives me positive 8. But my less than symbol has to flip. So it's going to become what? Greater than. So in order for negative 8 times k to be less than negative 64, my k value has to be greater than 8. So give me a k value that's greater than 8. 9. Okay. What's negative 8 times 9? Negative 72. Is negative 72 less than negative 64? Uh-huh. Because if you owe $72, you are more in debt than somebody who has negative $64. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a number that's not greater than 8. 7. Negative 8 times 7 is 56. Negative 56. Negative 56 is not less than negative 64. Let me exaggerate it a little for you. What if I said 0? If I plug in 0, 0 is not greater than 8, right? So it should give me a false answer. Negative 8 times 0 is 0. Is 0 less than negative 64?
Yes. Oh, wait.
0 is not less than negative 64, right? So if I plugged in 20, I get a number that does make that statement true. So when we divide or multiply by a negative number, we have to flip our sign. Now, on your homework, remind me to print your homework for you, because it has the number lines on there so you don't have to construct them. I'm just going to do this for time's sake. Would I have an open or a closed circle on 8?
Open.
Open. So there's my open circle. Now keep in mind, your number line is always going to go up to the right and down to the left, right? So I just need like one number to the right and one number to the left. I don't need to write a bunch of numbers on that number line. Which direction am I going to shade?
Right.
To the right. So I'm going to shade all the way over here. And that's what my graph should look like. Yes?
I forgot the difference between
Between what?
the open circle.
Open circle and closed circle? I think I have that right here. Once again, a reason why it's important for you to practice it over the weekend so it gets stuck in your head.
Okay. I will.
Okay. All right, how about this guy? Let's get some ones that are more tricky because I know that one's pretty basic. Negative 7 parentheses 6 plus x is greater than negative 14. I have two options for how I could solve this. What could I do?
Divide by negative 7, or you can
I could divide by negative 7 first, or I could distribute and then solve. Why could I divide by negative 7 first?
because 7 is less.
Because this will divide nicely. If it didn't divide nicely, I would want to distribute first. If I divide by negative 7 first, that's totally fine, but I need to remember that I'm dividing by a negative number, which means what? My greater than becomes a less than. And then what's negative 14 divided by negative 7? Positive 2. What do I do at this point? Subtract 6. And I have x is less. Do I switch the sign again there? No, because I'm not dividing or multiplying by a negative. 2 minus 6 is, so there's my solve part. And now if I graph this, my important number in the middle is negative 4. What number would be just to the right of negative 4? Negative 3. And just to the left? Okay, open or close circle on negative 4? Open. And what direction am I going to shade? If x is less than negative 4, I'm going to shade to the left. These are all the numbers. Less than is to the left. So? Okay. How about this one? What am I going to do first? Hmm?
For the problem like number 2,
Mhm.
can you use distributive properties?
Mm-hmm. You can use distributive property and you will get the same answer.
Thank you.
Yep. What do I need to do first here? Multiply both sides by 5, because that will cancel out my fraction here. That leaves me with negative 9 plus x. I don't need to change my sign, do I?
No,
Because I multiplied by a positive number, right? Over here I get negative 25. Because this was a negative 5 times a positive 5 gives me negative 25. Now what do I do?
add 9 plus
Add 9. X is greater than or equal to what? Negative 16. Did I ever have to change my sign in that one? No, because I never multiplied or divided by a negative number. That's fine. All right, so negative 16 is my important number. What number would be directly to the right? Negative 15, and directly to the left? Negative 17. Open or close circle on negative 16? And then what direction am I going to shade? Greater than or equal to would be to the right. So? All right, you try this one. Solve and graph. Okay, so what do I do first? Add 7. Negative 7x is greater than or equal to 140. Now what?
divide by negative 7.
Ah! What do I do when I divide by a negative? I'm going to change it from greater than or equal to less than or equal to. And what's 140 divided by negative 7?
Negative 20.
So, on my number line, the important number is 20 in the middle. What's the number directly to the right?
Negative 19.
I'm sorry, negative 20, thank you. Negative 19, and then this way would be negative 21. Does it matter if you flip those two and put negative 19 over here? Heck yes, it matters. That's not the way the number line works. The number line is always smaller numbers on the left, bigger numbers on the right. Open or close circle on negative 20? Closed. And what direction am I shading?
Left.
To the left. So? Pretty easy? All right, 2 more questions I'm going to give you.
There's no white paper, it's all color paper.
Just pick a color. Yeah. Okay, you try these last 2. Number 5. And then number 6, I'm going to write right here. 7 minus, I'm sorry, that's not 7. 3 minus 7v is greater than or equal to v plus 3. So solve and graph both of those 2, please. Okay. These 2 my like terms are on the same side, right? So what's 3v minus 7v? Is greater than negative 8. Now what do I do? Divide by negative 4. Uh-oh. What do I have to do? So that becomes less than negative 8 divided by negative 4 is 2. All right, so on my number line, 2 is my important point. What would be directly to the right? 3. And directly to the left? Open or close circle on 2?
Yeah.
And what direction am I shading?
To the right.
To the left.
Wait, is it possible? Oh, crap.
Is it possible what?
Never mind.
Okay. All right, I have V's on both sides. What do I do?
You gotta get V on one side.
Okay, so what should I do?
Subtract negatives. Oh.
Now,
Subtract.
when we were doing just the plain equations without the inequality signs, it didn't matter what side we put our letter on, right? We just tried to keep things positive because it was easier. Now it's easier to keep things on the left side just for graphing purposes. So even if it's negative, keep it on the left side. So I have 3 minus what? 8v is greater than or equal to 3. Now what?
That's where I got to, and
Take it.
This is where everybody gets to and then they freak out because it's a 0.
Just divide.
0 is a number. Thank you. Can you say that again?
Just divide.
Just divide.
What are you doing?
What about I wanted to buy?
Don't pass.
Not equal to b is greater. Ah! I did something wrong. What did I do that was wrong? Correct me.
You didn't flip it.
I didn't flip my sign. Dividing isn't cheating, but if you're going to divide, you got to flip your sign. If it's negative.
Oh.
What if I divide both sides by positive 8? Do I need to flip my sign then? Nope. So this flips to that direction, and there's my answer. So 0 goes in the middle. Yes? What goes directly to the right? And directly to the left? Open or close circle on 0? And what direction am I going to shape? To the left. Okay? All right. Happy studying.